Namibia continues to mourn the passing of Dr. Hageji Geingob, the late president of the Republic. Mangwana ni mwalalepo vukenjani class Vanave Africa. Welcome to Africa Good Morning, the news and current affairs show, bringing you everything you need to know happening on the African continent and beyond. You are joined by Ashwin Bedi and Diana Master.
Good morning, Ashwin.
Good morning, Dan. How's it?
I'm good. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm good.
All right, let's get into what we can expect in today's broadcast. World Bank's Banga denies IFC cover-up of abuse involving Kenya's school investment. Deadly twin bombings killed dozens as Pakistan prepares for elections. And according to Ethiopia's Prime Minister, nobody is dying of hunger in Ethiopia. We'll also be bringing you news from Zimbabwe with Talent Gore a little later on in the show. For now, we'll be taking a quick ad break and returning with our top stories.
Let's get into our news stories. World Bank President Banga on Monday rejected allegations that the bank's International Finance Corp arm sought to cover up reports of sexual abuse at a for-profit school chain in Kenya, which it held a stake from 2013 to 2022. Banga asked during a Center for Global Development public event about the IFC's response to an independent investigation into the allegations at Bridge. International Academies said he disagreed with the characterization of a cover-up by the IFC. Civil society groups have expressed concern. Opens new tab that IFC ignored evidence of sexual abuse at some of Bridget Kenya's schools until the World Bank's Office of Compliance Advisor Ombudsman received complaints from parents in 2018 and opened an investigation.
Now, two bombs in Pakistan's southwestern province of Balochistan have killed at least 22 people, with more injured. The twin blasts on Wednesday came a day before elections. The attacks targeted the election offices of political parties in the rest of region. The first attack, which killed 12 people, took place at the office of independent election candidate Asfandia Khan Kaka in Pashing district, near the border with Afghanistan, police sources told Al Jazeera. The second explosion in Kila Saifullah detonated near an office of Jamiat Ulema Islam, a religious party that has previously been the target of attacks, according to the province's information minister. Jumat Dad Khan, the deputy commissioner of Pashing district, said the blast there injured many people and some are in serious condition. The medical superintendent at Kanuzai Hospital told Al Jazeera.
Now, Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has denied that people were dying of hunger in the conflict-hit regions of Tigray and Amhara. There are no people dying due to hunger in Ethiopia, Mr. Abiy told lawmakers on Tuesday. He, however, said that people may have died due to illnesses associated with malnutrition. The PM also acknowledged that the drought was affecting people in several regions of the country, including Tigray, Amhara, and Oromia.
Now getting into our next story, Ugandan-born Judge Julia Sebutinde has been elected Vice President of the International Court of Justice in Hague, Netherlands. The judge recently caused controversy in the international community when she ruled against emergency measures requested by South Africa against Israel over the war in Gaza. She was the only judge on the 17-member ICJ panel to vote against all 6 measures adopted by the ICJ court in a ruling ordering Israel to take action to prevent acts of genocide as it fights Hamas militants in the Gaza Strip. Sebutinde was one of the only 2 judges who issued dissenting judgments, while 15 voted for the emergency measures, which covered most of what South Africa had asked for in the case. The Ugandan government distanced itself from the judge's dissenting opinion, saying it did not represent the East African country's position in the conflict.
And a Kenyan court on Tuesday charged the leader of a starvation cult and dozens of suspected accomplices with the murder over the deaths of nearly 200 people in a forest near the Indian Ocean. Self-proclaimed Pastor Paul Ntenge Mackenzie, who has already been charged with terrorism, manslaughter, as well as child torture and cruelty, is alleged to have incited hundreds of his acolytes to starve to death in order to meet Jesus. On Tuesday, Mackenzie and 29 other suspects pleaded not guilty to 191 counts of murder, according to court documents seen by AFP. A 31st suspect was deemed to lack the mental fitness to stand trial and ordered to return to the Malindi High Court in a month's time. Now, the case dubbed the Shakahola Forest Massacre led the government to flag the need for tighter control of fringe denominations. A largely Christian nation, Kenya has struggled to regulate unscrupulous churches and cults that dabble in criminality. Court documents have described Good News International Ministries, founded by Mackenzie, as an organized criminal group engaged in organized criminal activities, leading to the death of hundreds of followers. Questions have been raised about how Mackenzie managed to evade law enforcement despite a history of extremism and previous legal cases. Let's have a look.
Today we gather to honor the late President of the Republic of Namibia, His Excellency Dr. Gottfried Geingob. Dr. Gottfried Geingob was a visionary leader whose impact resonated far beyond the borders of the Republic of Namibia. As the chairperson of the European Union Youth Sounding Board, we extend our heartfelt condolences to the family and to the rest of the people of the Republic of Namibia. And as we reflect on President Geingob's unwavering commitment to the progress and the unity of the Republic of Namibia, President Geingob's legacy, marked by his dedication to inclusivity and youth empowerment, has left an incredible mark on the global stage. His tireless efforts in fostering dialogue and understanding have paved the way for a brighter future. As we mourn his passing, let us carry forward his vision of a world where every voice, especially that of the Namibian youth, is heard and valued. In these challenging times, let us draw inspiration from Dr. Hage Geingob's leadership, which fosters collaboration and resilience. May his legacy continue to guide us in our pursuit for a more just and equitable Namibia. May the President of the Republic, the late President of the Republic of Namibia, rest in peace, and his contributions and efforts will be remembered with gratitude and respect.
That was the chairperson of European Union Namibia Youth Sounding Board, Matthias Chivute, describing the late Namibian President Dr. Hage Geingob as a leader whose impact transcended Namibia as the nation continues to mourn. Stay with Africa. Good morning as we swing over to Zimbabwe after the break.
Now in Zimbabwe, Cabinet has scrapped a colonial-era death penalty law, and here to give us the full details and a full update on the story is Talent Gore. Talent, Mamkase.
Mamkase Africa.
Tamuka Edu, please get into that first story for us.
Yes, the Zimbabwean cabinet on Tuesday agreed to abolish the death penalty following months of debate in parliament, choosing instead to impose lengthy prison sentences for the worst offences. The cabinet passed a private member's bill introduced last year in the National Assembly to abolish the death penalty inherited from the British colonial rule. Cabinet said that in view of the need to retain the deterrent element in sentencing murderers, it is expected that the new law will impose lengthy sentences without violating the right to life. They also said that the existence of aggravating circumstances may attract life sentences. While Zimbabwe last carried out its last execution in 2005, and President Emerson Mnangagwa was once put on the death row during the struggle for independence against the British rule, has been pushing to end the death penalty in Zimbabwe.
All right, we move over. CCC voters are saying they feel betrayed. Is it by the government? Is it by Chamisa? Who's betraying them?
So the Citizens Coalition for Change of voters who voted during the August 2023 elections said that the few violated and the few betrayed by their representatives in parliament. Well, this comes after members of parliament have resigned from parliament. So the Citizens Coalition for Change voters are saying that they feel abandoned following the abrupt resignation of their in parliament. So we find out that legislator Fadzai Mahere, Alan Markham, Brian James, and Daniel Malokele have tendered their resignation letters after former CCC Nelson Chamisa ditched the party more than a fortnight ago. However, voters in the affected constituencies have expressed their anger, saying that Triple C has betrayed them, accusing their representatives of abandoning their posts without consultation. They are saying that the members of parliament, they had to come back to the constituencies first and consult the voters as to should do, but rather they just decided to quit parliament and to quit Triple C. So the voters are saying that it's not fair that we voted for you guys, and at the end of the day you have decided to abandon us, and now we feel betrayed because right now we do not have any representatives in the parliament. So it's quite difficult for the voters, and they're saying that they feel betrayed by their members of parliament in which they had voted for.
All right, now Talent, Bulawayo Mayor reveals that he earns $25 a month. Many may think that this is a typo or they are not hearing me correctly. So please clarify, $25 a month.
Yes. As you all know, Bulawayo is the second biggest city in Zimbabwe after Harare. So the Bulawayo mayor, David Kotat, has said that he earns 25 United States dollars per month. Well, apparently this is also equivalent to 138,000 Zimbabwean dollars. So his pay comes in Zimbabwean dollars, and if you translate it into USDs, that's when you get 25 United States dollars. He said that he earns $25 a month, which is perhaps one day's takings by an illegal street vendor in one of the teeming city pavements. He revealed this on Monday after citizens in particular, were saying that he should also resign from the mayoral post. He should resign from Triple C. But he said that he was not going to do so because he felt that he owed much to the residents rather than the party. He owed much to the residents who voted for him and who made him mayor. So he said that he was not going to resign from that post. And people started saying that he doesn't want to resign because he gets money from that. But then he revealed that he only gets 25 United States dollars per month. And last year, he also refused a brand new car, which is meant for the mayor. He said that he doesn't need it. That money should go to the vendors. That money should go to whatever the vendors need, to the vendors and also to the residents in Bulawayo. So he has refused a new car, and right now he has revealed that he only earns 25 United States dollars. So there's no need for him to keep on clinching to the post because he's getting monies and and vehicles will also operate because we have
Yeah.
refused all of those things.
It's an
So now,
certainly, it's an understandable sentiment because there was a time last year where members of parliament were all gifted, was it 40,000? $40,000 loans?
40,000 United States dollars.
Yes, 40,000 United States dollars loans. And just for interest sake, 6 months prior to elections, all judges had $400,000 loans approved. So, something to say for democracy there. Thank you very much, Talent, for bringing us the news stories from Zimbabwe.
You're welcome, and thank you very much for having me.
It's always good having you on Africa. Good morning. Let's head over to the weather, and hopefully it's as bright as Diana's smile. We start our economic news in Mozambique, where the port of Maputo is going to have a citrus fruit terminal in order to meet demand from South Africa, which accounts for 70% of the movement of this Mozambican port infrastructure, an official source said. In an interview with the Lusa News Agency, the executive director of the Maputo Porto Development Company, Osorio Lucas, said the construction of this terminal was among the port's growth objectives. Now, the construction of a citrus terminal from scratch serves to respond to demand from the northern zone of South Africa, which is also in the pipeline, he explained. According to Osorio Lucas, the market conditions on offer today, both from the point of view of the South African export market and the conditions of the railway port infrastructure in South Africa, represent an opportunity for Mozambique, particularly with the expansion of the port of Maputo.
Now, Namibia's Works and Transport Minister John Mutorwa has officially signed an agreement for the Trans-Kalahari Railway Line project during a joint during a joint ministerial committee meeting held on the 2nd of February in Swakopmund, Namibia. His Botswana counterpart, Transport and Public Works Minister Eric Molale, was present at the meeting to mark a crucial step towards the recognition of the cross-border railway initiative. After a series of discussions, we've concluded by signing an agreement with regard to investigating the possibility of constructing a railway line from the sovereign territory of Botswana, which, once it is visible and practically implemented, will link with the railway line in Namibia, Mutorwa confirmed. In a statement, Molale said Botswana and Namibia are just facilitators and probably the owners of the railroad, but we're doing this in the interest of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Initiative as well as the SADC Regional Integration Plan, where both documents call on member states to improve and expand on their infrastructure.
Those are economic news stories. We're going to head over to the indicators just before we return with the sport.
Let me show you something. Don't worry. Next time, I check nice.
Thanks, but it's okay. FNB Insurance checks nicer.
At FNB Insurance, we provide cover for all your valuables, from your phone to your laptop to your car. FNB Insurance. You value it, we cover it. T's and C's apply.
All right, let's get into some Africa Cup of Nations results. Sebastian Haller sent host Ivory Coast into the Africa Cup of Nations final as they beat Democratic Republic of Congo 1-0 in Wednesday's semi-final. Haller's 65th minute goal at the Alassane Ouattara Olympic Stadium continued the remarkable recovery by the Ivorians, who were almost eliminated in the group phase but will now take on Nigeria in Sunday's final. Nigeria beat South Africa on penalties in Wednesday's other semi-final in Bouake. Haller was making his first start after an ankle injury, and his goal had a touch of fortune about it as he miscued his shot, which bounced over Congolese goalkeeper Leon Mpasi into the net.
Now, Novak Djokovic is expected to return to Indian Wells for the BNP Paribas Open next month after a 5-year hiatus due to COVID-19 and US travel restrictions, according to the entry list released on Wednesday by tournament organizers. Also featured in the men's lineup is 3-time Indian Wells champion Rafael Nadal, who missed last month's Australian Open due to a muscle tear, but has since been included on the entry list for Feb 19 to 24 ATP 250 event in Doha. World number one Djokovic, whose last appearance at Indian Wells in 2019 ended with a third-round exit, will be seeking an unprecedented 6th title at what is regarded the biggest tennis tournament outside of the 4 Grand Slam events.
And as a U.S. Senate committee investigates the possibility of a PGA Tour merger with Live Golf, bankers and consultants who advise Saudi Arabia's public investment fund have testified that they face criminal and financial penalties if they cooperate with the probe. According to a report by Bloomberg News, the PIF sued its advisors in a Saudi court last November, preventing them from sharing information with the U.S. Senate Committee on Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs. In Washington this week, banker Michael Klein and representatives of consulting firms McKinsey, Boston Consulting Group, and Teneo Strategy faced lawmakers and pledged their case for not cooperating. The PIF has been explicit that the disclosure of information relating to BCG's work for PIF is a violation of Saudi law. Those have been our sports stories. Stay with Africa Good Morning as we take you through the highlights after the break.
Every day, you make choices that make you legendary. Journey together with us on the path to securing your legacy as a member of the League of Legends. With the Select Platinum Bundle Fee Premium Bank offering, you will access tools that will enable you to thrive. If you earn 850,000 Namibian dollars per annum or more, you can apply for this offering today via bankvinted.com.na. for only 447 Namibian dollars per month. Bank Vinted, a member of Capricorn Group.
You're still with Africa Good Morning. If you're just joining us, here are the news highlights. World Bank's Banga denies IFC cover-up of abuse involving Kenya school investment. Deadly twin bombings killed dozens as Pakistan prepares for elections. And according to the Ethiopian Prime Minister, nobody is dying of hunger. Uganda's Judge Sebutinde takes over as ICJ Vice President. And Port of Maputo expands with South African exports in mind.
Today is also NTV Day as the television channel turns 2. It is a wonderful day celebrating diversity and a commitment to serving the Namibian nation. From Diana Master and Ashwin Berry, Surya Shakanaka.